Khan, Shalom, Shalom, Israel, Shalom to the 12 tribes of Yasha Allah, giving of course all honor and praise unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Bahashiach, Yahweh Shah. That's of course all honor, glory, and praise unto the Father, whose name alone is Yahweh, in the name of his only begotten Son, Mahashiach, Wamalak Yahweh Shah, who the world refers to as Jesus Christ, and he is the Savior of the nation of Israel. All right, Shalom, Shalom. This is Brother Yasha Allah.
Brother Tazaiyar, Gabar.
Khan coming back y'all with yet another video through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah. All right, and we're going to go through battling the flesh. All right, because the flesh is what's going to cause us to go off in this truth. Okay, when you come into this truth, you're going to understand that we're in a spiritual warfare. All right, we're in a spiritual war. So what are we battling? We're battling the flesh. All right, we're battling Satan, and Satan, he uses the flesh for us to go off. Right, as a way for us to go off, right? Because the spirit that's in us, and we can get the precepts too. The spirit that's in us wants to do right. Like it says, let me just get this precept, right? Let's go to Matthew chapter 26, verse 41, right? This book of Matthew chapter 26 and verse number 61. It says, 41, right? It says, watch and pray that ye not slocky, that ye enter not into temptation. So we got to be watching, and we have to be praying that way so that we cannot enter into temptation, right? That's in the Lord's Prayer as well. In Matthew chapter 6, verse 9, our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. So you want the Lord to not lead you into temptation, right? It says what? Watch and pray that ye enter not into temptation. The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak. So the spirit that's inside each and every one of us, being Israelites in this truth, is willing to keep the commandments. We want to serve the Most High, but what the flesh is weak. So that's why we gotta pray to the Lord constantly, right? Khan, you got it.
God. Right, you just brought out Romans?
Matthew 26:41.
God. It's the book of Romans, chapter 7. I'm going to start at verse 22. Right, for I delight in the law of God after the inward man. Right, so that's what we have to delight in. We can't delight in our flesh. Our flesh always wants to be happy, and not be sorrowfulness. That we can't delight in happiness, bro. Because we're not supposed to be happy in flesh. If we see ourselves happy in flesh, we know we're in the flesh, man. We know we're not, in the spirit for real. If we're happy in Babylon in flesh, man. That's just insult to injury. You're already in the flesh, but hey, you're in Babylon. You're in oppression. So we can't be happy really. We're not really supposed to be happy. That's left hand side. We're in straight oppression. That's why we have to delight after the inward man. Because when you don't delight after inward man, which is your spirit, you delight after every other thing, which is these temptations. Which is damn video games, you damn females, all these types of things. That's what you delight in if you're not really delighting after that inward man, which is Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah. Right, but verse 23. But I see another law in my members, warring against the law of my mind and bringing me into captivity to the law of sin, which is in my members. So that's already automatically in your members, man. That temptation that you got to fight. Of course, we're going to fall to it a few times, but what is saying Proverbs? A righteous man will fall 7 times, but he chooses to get back up. So and then we have to put on that fight. Push out the flesh, man, and not try to be one with the flesh, but be one with the spirit, which is Yahweh Shem Yahweh.
Mm-hmm. That's right, man. Right, because that flesh, for example, like lust, man. Right, that lust is comparable to a fire. Right, so in order for you to battle that flesh, right, in order for you to quench that fire, you got to what? All right, first let's get this right in the book of 1 Corinthians, right? Let's go to 1 Corinthians chapter 7 and verse 9, right? This is the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 7 and verse 9, right? It says what? It says, but if they cannot contain, right? So basically what Paul is going into, let's just start at verse 7, right? It says, for I would that all men were even as I myself. So basically Paul was like, hey, I would want every man, right, that's in this truth, right? To be going hard as I am, you know what I'm saying? To be striving, not even looking for a woman, not even looking for a wife, you know what I'm saying? Paul's like, hey, I would want all men to be like that, to be on fire 24/7 for the Lord, you know, and labor is more abundant, etc., right? Being like me, you know what I'm saying? But what? But he also on the flip side, he's like, look, it's not up to me, right? Because it says what? But every man have his proper gift of God, one after this manner and another after that. So every man has his proper gift. You know, not everybody's going to be on the same level as Paul, and he understands that, right? Not everybody's going to be made an apostle, a teacher, a prophet. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody's going to be like that in this truth, right? Verse 8. I say, therefore, to the unmarried and widows, it is good for them to abide if they abide even as I. Meaning, if you're unmarried, if you're a widow, just stay unmarried. You know, Paul's like, hey, just stay unmarried. You know, focus on the Lord. You know what I'm saying? But what? Verse 9. But if they cannot contain, if you can't contain, right, let them marry. For it is better to them. It's like, for it is better to marry than to burn. To burn what? What does that mean to burn? To burn in your lust. You know, to be lusting all the time. You know, and then now that's causing you to do certain things, and that's going off, right? And we already know what those certain things are, right? To fulfill the lust of the flesh, right? You fulfilling the lust of the flesh that's going off. So if you, in order to avoid that, committing fornication, you know, from committing lasciviousness and covetousness, in order for you to stop doing that, or to refrain or prevent that, just marry. Go ahead and marry. But what the point I want to touch on is that lust is comparable to burning, right? And I just want to get this precept and link up with that, right? Let's go to Sirach real quick. Go to Sirach 3 and 30, right? It's the book of Sirach, chapter 3 and verse 30. It says, water will quench a flaming fire. You see that? So what is Bon Sirach saying? You know what I'm saying? If you just is you just saying, hey, water is going to quench a flaming fire. Well, yeah, obviously. Like it's not he's not really speaking on a physical level, even though he is, or he can be, but he's also speaking on a spiritual level, right? That water, and what is this water? This water is going into this word, right? That's John chapter 4 and verse 10. That living water is going to be able to quench, right? To be able to extinguish that flaming fire that's in us, right? That burning lust. So that's why we got to be in this word in order to quench that fire, right? Come, but
Come. All right. Let me try to get this piece. Come. All right. Let me just get this right in the book of 1 Peter, chapter 4, and verse 10. Right. As every man has received the gift, even so minister the same one to another, as good stewards of the manifold grace of God. If any man speak, let him speak as the oracles of God. If any man minister, let him do it as of the ability which God giveth, that God in all things may be glorified through Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, to whom be praise and dominion forever and ever. Amen. All right, so we can't take that lightly. We can't take, if any man speak, let him speak as the oracle of God lightly. Because, hey, whenever we speak not of the oracles of God, sometimes, you might enter into that lust. You might enter into some type of temptation. Because hey, that's where Satan thrives at, man. When it has nothing to do with the Lord, that's where Satan's going to thrive, man. You can't. They don't mix with each other. We can't talk about oh yeah, man, damn, that girl had a big booty, and then hey, we can't be reading the scriptures while talking about that, man. That's just not going to mix. That's just not it's just not going to mix. It's playing upon tables. That's why we always have to let our talk be about the Lord and about the oracles of the Lord, man. Okay, well, damn, was that the right thing, that I did? And we can chop it up like that. Stuff like that is literally oracles of God. All right, but here's the point. Verse 12, beloved, think it not strange concerning the fiery trial, which is to try you as though some strange thing may happen unto you. So though these strange trials, may try us, some damn strange ass women, some strange women that come for you, man. Even though those things happen, that's a fiery trial that the Lord tries to put you through, man. That's the Lord trying you right then in that moment. He's putting you in that fire. He literally wants you to, choose water over the fire. He wants that water to defeat the fire that you. He wants you to allow that water to defeat the fire, man. No, we can't just be burning, man. We can't just be sitting in our just burning, just thinking about all things, man. We can't just sit there, man. We gotta literally let that water, quench that fire, man, as it's written. You know? Come on. Come on, you got it.
Khan, that's right, man. You got to quench that fire, right? And ultimately, it's all through the spirit and power of the Lord. You know what I'm saying? Ultimately, right? But we have to be doing everything that we can, in order to properly quench that fire, right? To deal with lust. You know what I'm saying? If you battling the flesh like that, right? Because when we go to the book of First John, chapter 2, verse 15, we know that everything in this present world is a vanity, basically, right? Let's go to First John chapter 2, verse 15, right? It says what? It says, love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. So you can't love the world, right? We can't love the world either, right? Why? It says what? For all this, like, if any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh and the lust of the eyes and the pride of life is not of the Father, but is of the world. In this present world is the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life. You know, the lust of the flesh. And that's the first thing that John mentioned, the lust of the flesh. Because everything in this present world is about what you want to do. It's about what you want to, especially here in Babylon the Great. It's about what you want to do, how to please your flesh. Because America says, hey, it's okay if you feel like you want to be homosexual, go ahead, right? If you feel like are a lesbian, you like you have that burning lust desire to be with woman, and you are a woman, hey, go ahead, do that, right? That's what America does, right? America, hey, they don't really speak down upon masturbation and whatnot, right? They don't speak down upon that, right? They say it's okay, you know. They say, hey, go ahead if you have that urge, submit to that urge. In fact, here's some health benefits. We're not dealing with that, bro. All right, the servants of the Most High, right? We're not dealing with that, right? And we trying to abstain from that, because we already know when we do it, we don't feel good after that. We don't feel like, oh yeah, we actually did something, like we accomplished something, right? We in fact feel the opposite way. So that's how we know that is in our spirit to feel, to know that that's off. We know that's off in our spirit, right? It says what? Verse 17. And the world passeth away, and the lust thereof, but he that doeth the will of the Most High abideth forever. So he that doeth the will of the Most High abides forever, right? Because everything in this world is going to pass away, right? So like, I got another precept real quick, right?
Get out.
Calm, all praises. Right, this is the book of 2 Timothy, chapter 4, and verse 10, right? It says, for Demas have forsaken me, having loved this present world. You see that? So Demas was a willing companion in tribulation towards with Paul, right? And Paul said that, look, Demas have forsaken me. See that? Demas have forsaken me, right? It says having loved this present world, because he loved this present world. You know, he didn't care about, he stopped caring about the Most High, right? And he was looking at this present world, what this world has, and he went after that, and forsook the ministry. It says, and has departed unto Thessalonica, Cretans to Galatia, Titus unto Dalmatia. You see that? And these are certain regions within the Greco-Roman provinces, right? So,
Come on. All right. Let me just get the classic though real fast. Well, this is not really a classic, but let me just bring this out right in Ecclesiastes, right, chapter 7, in verse 11. Right, seeing there be many things that increase vanity, what is man the better? Right, so we see all these things that is vanity, man. It's just really, like just literally just Satan just doing what he does best, man. Just putting, traps and snares and traps, for man's life, man. And that's things we have to fight. That's things we have to select. Right, that's things that we have to acknowledge. Put on gloves and fight that thing, man, because it's vain. Everything that Satan throws at us is vain, man. We literally have to fight it. Because, hey, America thrives off of it, man. This place is foolishness, man.
right up.
Come on, right? This place is just literally a foolish place, right? But verse 12, for who knoweth what is good for man in this life? All the days of his vain life, which he spendeth as a shadow. For who can tell a man what shall be after him under the sun? That's playing upon tables. Now, who's going to tell us what's going to be next? Now, who's going to tell us, what's happening after this? It's Yahweh Shemi outside, man. He's going to tell us, what we have to do, and he's going to actually defeat, Satan, in those times that we need him. Man. He's going to actually burn. He's going to quench that fire, man. He's going to do all those things that we literally need for salvation, man. He's going to clean our hands. He's going to put that white robe on us, man. He's going to put a crown on our head. He's going to, make us disperse from sin, man. He's going to literally make us flee from sin, from all the things that we need, man. He's literally our provider, man. He's literally everything that we need, right? But I'm going to jump to this. This is the classic right here. I'm going to jump to it. Right, it's Ecclesiastes chapter 7 and verse 2. It is better to go to the house of mourning than to go to the house of feasting, for that is the end of all men, and the living will lay it to his heart. So that's plain upon saying. We can't be happy, man. There's always a reason. If you're a true saint, you could always find at least 3 reasons not to be happy, man. Off the spot. Hey, we're in America. That should be number one. We're in the flesh. And I'm dealing with this demon. That's a saint. That's things that we literally have to acknowledge, man. The reasons not to be happy in America. If you're happy in America, you're not doing the right thing, man. You're not on fire. You're not doing what you have to do for the Lord if you're happy. Because there's literally no reason at all to be happy, man. Because we still have to battle the flesh. We're not in heaven yet. That's literally why we have Yahweh. Right, so here's Slucky. Let me just get this other precept. Right, in the book of Ephesians, right, chapter 1, and I'm gonna read verse 20. Right, which he wrought in Christ when he raised him from the dead and set him at his own right hand in heavenly places, for above all principality and power and might and dominion and every name that is named, not only in this world, but also in that which is to come. And has put all things under his feet and gave him to be the head over all things to the church. So that's Yahweh Shai, man. He's literally the one that's above all this stuff, man. So that's what we have to look for. That's what we have to, be saved from, which is that water, man, which is life. In him was life, and the life was the light of man. He's literally the things that we have to, lean on, man. So we can't lean on television, man. Do damn brother sad or something like that. He's leaning on damn Lil Uzi Vert, man. We can't lean on Lil Uzi Vert. We read the scriptures, man. We can't, damn bump music when we sad or something like that. You read Psalms 24 when you sad. Read certain, Psalms or something like that when you're sad. Don't just, lean on something else that's not going to help. Lean on this world. We have to literally lean on the power of all things, which is Yahweh Shemi outside, man. Because that's who's going to help us fight. If it's not Yahweh Shemi outside that's helping you fight, it's nothing that's helping you fight. You're literally being pulled in by that lust if it's not them that's helping. So that's what we have to do every day by day is look to them to help us, man, because we need help. Come
Khan, that's right, man. Right, and we need help from Yahweh Bosh and Yahweh Shah. Day by day, bro. We need help by Yahweh Shah. Right? We need Yahweh Shah because we're gonna fall in this thing. Right? Like in a boxing ring, you can't expect to not get hit. Right? You're just gonna get hit. Right? Unless you damn Mike Tyson or Muhammad Ali. Right? You know what I'm saying? Hey, not everybody's Muhammad Ali. All right, not everybody's Mike Tyson. All right, so you're gonna get hit at least once. I mean, that's gonna happen. You're gonna fall, right? Like that's gonna happen. That's why we have Yahweh Shah. But that doesn't entitle us to give up in this thing, right? Because hey, let's just get the classic, man. All right, let's go to Proverbs chapter 24 and verse 16. Right, Proverbs chapter 24 verse 16. It says, "For a just man falleth 7 times and riseth up again, but the wicked shall fall into mischief." You see that? So righteous man, he's going to fall 7 times, but he's going to rise up again, though, right? And he's going to keep fighting Satan, bro, because he already understands that what Through the scriptures, the Lord already told us that we're gonna be fighting to the day we're in the damn grave, bro. All right, that's crazy. This is Second Ezra chapter 7 and verse 57. It says, "Then answered he me and said, This is the condition of the battle, which man that is born upon the earth shall fight." You see that? So he shall. So I'm gonna keep going actually. That if he that if he be overcome, he shall suffer as thou hast said. But if he get the victory, he shall receive the thing that I say. You see that? So we want to get that victory. You may lose a battle, but guess what? You didn't lose the war, right? It's really the end all be all that matters, you know. Because for example, like even when you study wars, like the Russo Japanese war, right? I believe during that war, the Japanese were winning, like they were winning by a long shot, right? They were winning hella battles, so it looked like, damn, like Japan might actually defeat Russia. And this was like during like 1905, right? So a long time ago. But guess what? Russia actually won the war because Japan was losing resources and they were kind of giving up, so Russia won it, and the NRBO. You see that? So that's just an example of a real war, right? So compare that to now. You may fall a lot, right? We may fall a lot in this truth. We need Yahweh, right? We need His grace as well. But guess what? We have to get back up and fight. You know, we got to get back up and fight that flesh, man. Right? That's why the Lord said the flesh is weak. Okay, the Lord made the flesh to be weak. That's like, let's go to First Peter, right? Let's go to First Peter chapter 4, right? Or actually, it's like First Peter chapter 3 and verse 18. It says, "For Christ also hath once suffered for sins, the just for the unjust, that he might bring us to God, being put to death in the flesh, but quickened by the Spirit, by which also he went and preached unto the spirits in prison." You see that? So we're the spirits in prison, man. Who was Yahweh Shah talking to? Yahweh Shah was preaching to the nation of Israel. So we're these spirits that's in prison right now. This body is a prison, man. You know, a lot of people, they like to exalt their bodies, you know, but it's literally a prison because our spirit is like, our spirit wants to be with Yahweh Shah. Our spirit wants to be on fire for the Lord, but that flesh is weighing us down, you know. But Khan, you got it.
It's a perfect precept to link up with that. Through the Spirit, this is the book of Ephesians, chapter 2 and verse 1. Right? And you have the quickened who were dead in trespasses and sins, wherein in time past ye walked according to the course of this world, according to the prince of the power of the air, the spirit that now worketh in the children of disobedience. Right? So hey, that's who Yahushua came to free. And that's who Yahushua, came to fight for him. Huh? It's literally his saints, man. His chosen. The people that were predestined to be in this truth, man. That's literally who he's fighting for, right? And we came out of the world, huh? We no longer want to be a damn rapper or damn, Lord, one of the brothers don't want to be rappers or basketball players and nothing like that. But hey, we no longer want to prosper in this world, in this fight, because we know what it's for, man. We know it's not for us, right? Verse 3, among whom also we all had our conversation in times past. So we all had our little conversation. We all had our, so-called dreams, our so-called, we want this, we need that. Our conversation of the world, we all had that in times past, right? In the lust of our flesh, fulfilling the desires of the flesh and of the mind, and were by nature the children of wrath, even as others. So by nature, we were ready to be destroyed, man, right then and there. Saying, hey, the Lord could have took us out any time when we was in the world, man, literally. Just by nature, man. Not even that we was knowing we was doing something bad, but hey, literally by nature, we were already in the world, man. And we were already in that sin, in our lust, man. Fulfilling everything that Satan wanted, man. But hey, now Yahweh came to give that grace and mercy for us to even be in this truth, and us to even put up a fight and put on gloves, and put on his armor, man. Even know that he's the water in this thing that is going to help us, man. That's the grace and mercy that he came to have. So we have to, take advantage of it, man. You actually use it for what he's here for, man. Those, have the Bible laying up or damn prayers on the wall for no reason. I knowing the Hebrew for nothing. That's literally what Yahweh Shai is for. Is literally for us to fight, man. To put on armor in this thing, right? In verse 4, but the Most High, who is rich in mercy, for his great love wherewith he loved us. Huh? Hey, the Lord loves us in this thing, man. Even if you know who you are, the Lord loves you, man. Because hey, that right there could get your foot in the door with Satan. That right there could even let you know that you want to fight with Satan, man. Even just knowing yourself and knowing who the Lord is in this thing. But hey, the more and more we increase in knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, that's the more and more we got armor, man. Full set of armor in this thing if we know what we need to know, huh? That's why we have to, take advantage of it, right? Verse 5, right? Even when we were dead in sins, has quickened us together with Christ. By grace, ye are saved. And that's plain upon tables, huh? By grace and mercy in that we have in the Lord, that's how we're going to be saved out of this captivity, huh? And that's how we're going to be saved out of this captivity, which is the flesh, which is our lust, which is all these sins that we deal with. That's how we're going to be saved, is through the grace and mercy of Yahweh Son, man. Mm-hmm. Come
Con, that's right, man. That's right, man. Con, because, you know, like, if you got an issue with the lust, man, playing games all day is not going to help you,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's, listening to damn Playboy Cardi, Lil Uzi Vert, damn, uh, Trippy Red, Lil Baby, Dub Baby. If you listen to them all day, it's not going to help you with battling the flesh,
Oh.
right? It's not, because they talk it, they glorify the flesh,
Mm-hmm.
right? So that, hey, the song, the lyrics are literally going to put a spirit on you, right, and put those thoughts into your mind, and make you think about it more, So like they literally glorify the flesh, right? Lil Baby talks about adultery. Dad Baby talks about adultery, fornication. They all talk about it. So literally, if we think about that all the time and we listening to it, it's gonna put that spirit in us, to think it like that. Because really, a lot of times, lust it begins with our thoughts, right? We have thoughts, and then we act upon those thoughts. That's what a lot of times lust, the lust of the flesh, that's how it takes hold of us, with thoughts first and foremost, right? So, knowing that, we got to be meditating too, right? And me too, me as well, right? When I say that, I say that's why I say we, because we, that includes me. I got to be meditating more, right, in order to battle those thoughts. You know what I'm saying? But Con, let's go to Ephesians 5, right? In verse 3, it says, "But fornication and all uncleanness or covetousness, let it not be once named amongst you, as becoming saints." See that? So Paul's like, hey, let all fornication, all uncleanness or covetousness, hey, I don't even want to hear it named amongst you guys, man. Or I don't want to hear any reports about this. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to hear any talking about this, right? Well, I don't want to hear any of y'all committing fornication, right? Or being covetous. You know what I'm saying? Because you guys are supposed to be saints, right? The saints are literally the Israelites, right? But you still have the saints, other saints, because
Mm-hmm.
like it says in 1 Corinthians 6:2, saints shall judge the world. And we know that now all Israel is going to judge the world, right? It's going to be the elect of Israel who's going to be the judges, right? Stuff like that. So you still have the saints of the saints, the holies of the holies, literally in the law, right? That's literally in the law, the holies of the holies, right? It says verse 4, not the filthiness nor foolish talking, nor jesting, which are not convenient, but rather giving the thanks, right? For this ye know that no whoremonger, nor unclean person, nor covetous man who is an idolater have any inheritance in the kingdom of Christ and of God. See that? That's cold, bro. You know, if you are a damn whoremonger, right? If we're a covetous, right, which is literally being an idolater, right? Then we have no inheritance. We have nothing to do with the Most High. We have nothing to do with his kingdom, right? So we got to put that away, right? It says, right, verse 8. I'm going to skip down to verse 8. It says, "For ye were sometimes darkness, But now are ye light in the Lord, walk as children of the light. So we gotta walk as children of the light now, because we gotta put away the works of darkness, man, as much as we can, bro. And be that set apart light that the Lord said that we have to be, in this present world. So like, I just gotta get one more precept on that. Praise right. In Philippians, right? Let's go to Philippians 2 and 15, man. Right. This is Philippians chapter 2 and verse number 15, right? It says that ye come, I'll praise. It says that ye may be blameless and harmless, the sons of God, right? If we're really the sons of the Most High, we got to be doing all that we can to show that too, to be walking godly, man, right? Because as the son is, so is his father. Like it kind of roughly paraphrasing in Sirach chapter 30, right? It says, without rebuke in the midst of a crooked and perverse nation. Because this nation, it's going to be judged too, man. Because it throws a lot of temptations at you. This nation, like America, it's so easy to get, it's so easy to get enticed, right? It says, what? A crooked and perverse nation among whom ye shine as lights in the world. See that? So we got to be like that light, huh? Right? Keeping the commandments. Pecan, you got it.
Come on. I got a quick point too, and that's why it says that, because the Lord knows Babylon is just it's just full of sin, man. It's going to be so easy for us, fall into it. That's why they said though in Proverbs 8, a man could just be walking out and see a temptation. That just doesn't happen, man. That's it was so called rare to happen, but hey, in Babylon, that's not rare, man. Hey, you can walk outside your room and see some type of temptation, man. And that's little, Hey, that's little. That's for real. You see something on the damn TV or something like that. But that just shows you how easy it is, man. That's why the Lord said that in Proverbs. All right, but here's this, right, Salaki, in the book of Matthew, chapter 6 and verse 21. Right? For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. Now, if you want your treasure to be in the kingdom of heaven, you'll be meditating on it every day. Right? You'll be meditating. All right, what do I got to do? I got to get my spirit together. Do I got to fast? What do I do? You'll actually try to set a plan for yourself, huh? And you actually try to keep yourself uptight, and firm to what you had to do, right? So that's why there is this precept. Because if we're thinking about, damn, playing the game all day, wasn't to lose 3 hours out the day, damn. Just stuff like that. If we're doing that, then we don't really got a plan for the kingdom of heaven, man. We should at least, be meditating every day, reading every day, praying at least, at least 7 times a day, man. Don't just pray, 3 times. At least bump that thing up to 7, at least. But those are the type of things that we have to do if our treasure is really in the kingdom of heaven, man. Because that's where our heart is at. If it's in something that we, earnestly want to do, right? So here's this precept, right? It's the book of Ephesians, chapter 4 and 17. This I say, therefore, and testify in the Lord, that ye henceforth walk not as other Gentiles walk in the vanity of their mind, having the understanding darkened, being alienated from the life of the Most High, through the ignorance that is in them because of the blindness of their heart, man. They don't know what they want, man. They're blind in their heart. They're Gentiles. That's what a Gentile is. They have no idea what's going on, man. So we can't walk as a Jake damn sagging his pants with no Jordans on, got a damn snapback on, muscle shirt. We can't walk as those people, man. They're Gentiles, right? But verse 19, who being past feeling, having given themselves over unto lasciviousness, to work all uncleanness with greediness. So they giving themselves over into the real. They giving themselves over to anything that comes their way. A woman could come up to them. That's for real though. A woman could go up to a Jake, any type of woman, and they'll pop them if they wanted to be popped, huh? And that's Jake. Any Jake would want to do that, man. But us saints, we can't walk as that, man. You don't know what these women. You don't know these women, man. They're not spiritual, right? The verse 20. But ye have not so learned Christ. They didn't learn Christ, man. Right? Here's a point. If so be that ye have heard him and have been taught by him, as the truth is in Yahushua, that ye put off concerning the former conversation, the old man which is corrupt according to deceitful lust, man. So hey, that's what we have to do. We learn Christ, man. We already understood what his duty is, man. We understood that he died for the saints, his chosen people, man, his chosen seed. We understood. We literally read these things day by day. It's like a so-called broken record, but it's not broken, man. We hear it every time. We learn about this thing for years. Brothers been learning about it, but still deal with it, man. Hey, that's the fight, though, bro. That's why he's still here, man. He's giving us that grace and mercy, try to separate our minds and our hearts to be towards the kingdom of heaven and not this world, man. And that's what he's here for us to fight against the world. Right here, point. And be ye renewed in the spirit of your mind, and that ye put on the new man, which after God is created in righteousness and true holiness. Man, that's plain upon tables. And that's what we have to put on, our new man. We can't be like our old selves, man. I mean, your friends can't recognize you back in the day. They can't say, "Oh, look at so and so. He's still doing the same thing, man. He's still chilling." You just graduated high school. You see old friend. You say he's still chilling. No, he's not supposed to be saying that to you, man. Oh, you supposed to be saying, "Hey, you still on that Bible stuff? Are you still reading that Bible? You still doing that thing?" And yeah, that's what we're supposed to be hearing, man. We can't hear you. Hey, you still hooping? You still doing this and that? Hey, man, we not hearing that. That we literally hearing our new man, day by day, through a Mashiach fight that temptation, man. That's the point. Con. That's a lot.
Con, you good. All praises, man. All right, got this precept too, right? This is Psalms. I'm sorry, not Psalms. Philippians chapter 1 and verse 28. And in nothing terrified by your adversaries, which is to them an evident token of perdition, but to you of salvation and that of God. For unto you it is given in the behalf of Christ, not only to believe on him, but also to suffer for his sake. See that? So we have to not only believe on Yahweh, right, but also suffer for Yahweh, right? And so going through those temptations, that's suffering right there, right? That's part of suffering too. You know, suffering is not just, although it is, suffering is not just, you standing out there for hours, your feet, in the highways and byways, your feet is hurting, back is hurting, voices going out. Suffering is not always, staying up all night to study, et cetera, right? That is suffering, but suffering is also going into the diverse temptations that we go to, you know. It's when we go to that's James, right? Let's go to James chapter 1. All right, this is the book of James chapter 1 verse 1. A James, a servant of God and of the Lord Yahweh Mahashiach, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, greeting. So this to you, if you are Israelite, this to you, right? My brethren, count it all joy when you fall into diverse temptations. So we have to count it all joy, right? When we fall into these different temptations, right? Knowing this, that the trying of your faith worketh patience. So the trying of your faith, the Most High is trying our faith when we go through those temptations. With the trying of the faith, it works patience, right? So now, if we endure those temptations, now we're more patient, right? And those that patient in spirit, hey, they're going to get the kingdom, bro, right? Because this truth is ultimately about patience. Because we really don't know when Yahweh Shah is coming back. This whole truth is a temptation, a temptation about what? Going back into the world, You resisting that, hey, that's going to increase your patience, right? Let's go to the book of Luke chapter 21. Because patience is going to get you a long way in this truth, This is Luke chapter 21 and verse number 19. And your patience possess ye your souls. See that? So in our patience, that's how we're going to possess our souls. That's how we're going to make it out of here, right? Through our patience, and that goes hand in hand with endurance, man, right? Being patient with these damn demons, man, right? Satan's poking at you, right, and you're burning your lust, But if you have a lot of patience, guess what? You're just gonna sit there. You're gonna call upon the name of the Lord. You're gonna cut them up with the word, man. Right? Like it says, taking the sword of the spirit, which is the word of God. Right? That's Ephesians chapter 6. You know, and you're gonna pray to the Lord. And because you have a lot of patience, like it says in let's go to James, man. Right? Because guess what, Satan, and he's not gonna tempt you, right? He really comes and goes. You know what I'm saying? He comes and goes with this damn lust thing, right? He comes like I haven't heard a brother say he deals with it like 24/7, like every second of the day. You know what I'm saying? Like he comes and goes. you know, that would be horrible though. If a brother dealt with it like every second of the day. But it really comes and goes, right? That's Satan. If you resist him, he's gonna flee. Right? Let's go to James chapter 4, verse 6. But he giveth more grace, wherefore he saith, God resisteth the proud, but giveth grace unto the humble. It says, submit yourselves therefore to the Most High, resist the devil, and he will flee from you. So if we resist Satan, he's going to flee. Right? You got it. It's a lot.
Praises. Right, but it's the book, Proverbs, right, chapter 17. I'm going to read verse 3, right? The finding pot is for silver and the furnace for gold, but the Lord trieth the hearts. Right? So the Lord, no matter what, every day the Lord is going to try your heart, man, no matter what. No matter if you been on fire, you fasting. Hey, even when you fasting, the Lord tries your heart, man. That just goes to show you that the Lord is really here with us, man. Right, but here's this other precept, right, in the book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 6. And I'm going to start at verse 4, right? But in all things approving ourselves as a ministry of God, in much patience, in afflictions, in necessities, in distresses, in stripes, in imprisonments, in tumults, in labors, in watchings, in fastings, by pureness, by knowledge, by long suffering, by kindness, by the Holy Ghost, by love, unfeigned. Right, so Paul is just going in and in on all the things that we endure, man, and all the things that we literally have to do. We have to watch. Even when we're watching, we could be tempted, huh? We could be tempted, and that's something that is not. Seeing some that can be World War III or not World War III. That's a temptation, huh? That's a balance right there, though, as well. Right, in stripes and imprisonments. That's an imprisonment. That's an automatic temptation and imprisonment, man. Why am I in prison? Knowing they're suffering 24/7, you losing your mind in there, man. Thinking that you really is the Lord really with you in that prison, man. That's something that you suffer. Right? In tumults in labors we suffer in labors, man. We suffer in fishing, man. If you guys here. The hook, keep breaking. The line keep going break. You can't, it's too heavy to reel in. You ain't got the right bait for it, man. Spiritual level, that just means, you certain things that we can't do to help our people, man. That on a spiritual level though. Right? In watchings and fastings and so verse 7 though. So all those things he just explains to you that we have to endure. Right? By the word of truth, by the power of God, by the armor of righteousness on the right hand and on the left, by honor and dishonor, by evil report and good report, as deceivers and yet true, as unknown and yet well known, as dying and behold, we live, as chastened and not killed. Right, so he goes on and on, man. That's all these things that we literally go through in this life, man. In this life that we didn't choose this life as well. We were bought with a price, man. In this life that we have to endure to get this kingdom of heaven that we wanted our whole lives, man. That brother's been dreaming about. That's what we have to do, man. We literally have to endure in that patience that we have to be patient. So like in that patience, we have to literally fight in that patience, man. While you just sitting there chilling, you gotta fight. Patience. Literally. You could be thinking that you finna fall out this truth. A demon come at you, man. A demon on the top of a demon. That thing happens to the saints. It literally happens, man. We can't stress it enough that this stuff is really happening to us, man. To this real saints. But we have to endure, right? So like I'm gonna jump to the second to last verse. Right, wherefore come out from among them, and be ye separate, said the Lord, and touch not the unclean thing, and I will receive you, and will be a father unto you, and ye shall be my sons and daughters, says the Lord Almighty. So, hey, we have to separate, man. Separate from this world, because, hey, this world is going to get us killed if we keep, feeding into it, man. That's why we literally have to separate and put on that armor, as Paul was talking about, man. Put on Hamashiach, as is written.
Mm-hmm.
Come on.
Con, that's right, man. That's right. I'm gonna get First Peter chapter 2. It's First Peter chapter 2 and verse 11, right? It says, "Dearly beloved, I beseech you as strangers and pilgrims, abstain from fleshly lusts which war against the soul." So your fleshly lust is going to war against your soul, man. Right? The spirit that's inside of you, hey, the flesh is going to be at battle with it 24/7, man. Right? 24/7. Right? And there's certain times when the spirit's going to win. There's certain times when the flesh is going to win. Right? But we have to understand, we have to give our spirit the necessary armory to fight, to really fight off these spirits, to really fight off this flesh. Because you can't just leave your spirit just hanging up, alone, right? We can't expect to win this battle if we're not, right? If we're not giving our spirit the necessary, for lack of better terms, weapons to destroy the flesh, to fight off the flesh, right? Because we have to. What I'm saying is, like, we have to strengthen our spirit by what? By praying, by fasting, by reading, by meditation. And that's how we're going to strengthen our spirit. That's how we're going to feed our spirit. Because let's go to the book of Matthew chapter 4, right? Let a soldier go out to battle, and he hasn't eaten in 3 days. You think he's going to he's going to prevail in that battle, right? No, he's not. He's hungry. He hasn't eaten in 3 days. He can barely pick up a gun, right? He's weak. So you have to. So for basically in that analogy, you have to feed your spirit. We have to be feeding our spirit and nourishing it and strengthening it, so that we can actually fend off this flesh. We can actually prevail when the flesh tries to war against us, right? Try to war against our spirit, right? Let's go to Matthew 4 and verse 4, right? It says, "But he answered and said, It is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of the Most High." So, man, you're not only going to be living by bread alone, by physical bread, but also that spiritual bread. You need spiritual bread too. You need that spiritual bread. You need that spiritual water, right? To feed your spirit, man. We need to be feeding our spirit in order for it to have the strength, right, to fight off the flesh. That goes also into what? Let's go to John chapter 4. This is John chapter 4 and verse 10. Yahweh answered and said unto her, If thou knewest the gift of God, right, and who it is that saith to thee, Give me to drink, thou wouldst have asked of him, and he would have given thee the living water. You see that? So we want that living water that's able to nourish our spirits, right? Verse 14, "But whosoever drinketh of the water that I shall give him shall never thirst, but the water that I shall give him shall be in him a well of water springing up into everlasting life." So we want that water that's going to quench that flaming fire that's in us, right? That flaming fire of lust, right? That flaming fire of the fleshly desires. With this wellspring of water, we can be able to quench it. Like it says, it's all right. All right, what Khan you got it?
Right. So like this is the book of Wisdom of Solomon, right? Chapter 6. And I'm gonna read verse 9. Right? Lucky. Con. We'll start at verse. Well, no, we'll read verse actually 12, right? So lucky. Wisdom is glorious and never fadeth away. Yeah, she is easily them that love her, and found of such as seek her. She preventeth them that desire her, in making herself first known unto them. Whoso seeketh her early shall have no great travail, for he shall find in her sitting at his doors. To think therefore upon her is perfection of wisdom, and whoso watches for her shall quickly be without care, man. So hey, to think on wisdom is that's life right there, man. Just to sit there and think about the laws, Hamashiach, think about his works, that will give you energy, man. That will give you life, man. Just to sit there and, hey, like the scriptures say, think, meditate, man. We can't just be thinking about following this all day, man. At least take at least 20 to 30 minutes out of the day to just, meditate on the Lord, man. And actually really get into how glorious he is, man. Because there's a million things to think about in this thing, man. Bible is not this big for no reason, man. And people say, "Oh, that's a big book." Hey, it's not big for nothing, man. It's not just book. It's not BS in this book, man. Literally things to be, get your mind and spirit going, man. Right? Verse 16: For she goeth about seeking such as are worthy of her, showeth herself favorably unto them in the ways, and meeteth them in every thought, playing upon Savior. So that represents a Mashiach for us, man. In everything we could think of a Mashiach, what would Yahushua do? We know some Christians, what would Jesus do? But hey, that's for real. What would Yahushua do, man? In this way we go about this, should we go about this, in this way? Well, hey, what would Hamashiach do? That's what we should say, man. That's what we have to be thinking about, day by day, right? So, calm, right? You got it. I'll get this.
All praise, bro. And yeah, Shalom, Shalom, servant of the Most High. All right, that's Brother Dez right there, W5 Baltimore, right?
Shalom.
All praise, man. Right? But yeah, hey, that's Iraq 2-1 as well,
Mm-hmm.
It says, my son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. So if we're going to serve the Lord, hey, we have to prepare our soul for temptation, When we come to the truth, we got to be like, hey, Spirit, Lord said that, when we come to this truth, that's what we're going to have to be in a battle, So we have to understand that, right? My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thyself in temptation. Set thy heart aright and constantly endure it, and make not haste in time of trouble. Cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a lower state. So we want to be patient if we're changed into a lower state, right? We want to be patient when we're being tempted, right? And like it says in James chapter 1, that temptation is going to be able to increase your patience, right? Which is ultimately for the better. For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. That's the only way you're going to get better in this truth, man. Right? That's the only way we're going to get stronger in this truth, by enduring that temptation, enduring those trials and tribulations. Because literally, we're like gold that's tried in the fire. If we're tempted, bro, that means the Most High has found us to be acceptable. Acceptable. It says acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. You see that? The furnace of affliction right there, man. Right? The iron furnace, like it says. All right, let me get this precept about the iron furnace. Right? I believe that's Deuteronomy. So, go to Deuteronomy chapter 4.
Verse 20.
You said verse 20?
I think so.
All praise to the water. All right, let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 4 and verse 20. Right? It says, but the Lord hath taken you and brought you forth out of the iron furnace, even out of Egypt, to be unto him a people of inheritance, as ye are this day. So we know that fire, right? That fire, that iron furnace, the Lord called Egypt the iron furnace because, namely, for one, right, we were in captivity, But I bring this precept also to say that, look, we're in modern Egypt right now. We're also in captivity now. And guess what? We're tempted at all times here in this captivity. Not only are we serving Esau and the other nations, we're also having to serve the flesh too. We're serving the flesh. Why? How are we serving the flesh? Because at the end of the day, The flesh is going to get over you sometimes. Right? The flesh is going to tell you what to do. If the flesh is going to tell your spirit what to do, and you're going to succumb to that. That's going into the falling 7 times. Proverbs chapter 24, verse 16, right? But we're being proven right now by the Most High God. We're being tried in the fire. Con, that's the point. But yeah, con.
All right, here's the book, Sirach, Salaki, chapter 42, in verse 18. We'll start at verse 17. All right. The Lord has not given power to saints to declare all his marvelous works, which the Almighty Lord firmly settled, that whatsoever is might be established for his glory. So that's plain, right? The Lord didn't reveal all things unto the saints. We still have to, really think about certain. You can read the whole Bible 7 times. You'll really not completely understand all these things. That's why we have to. That's why you have to search out certain things, right? Verse 18. He seeketh out the deep and the heart, and considereth their crafty devices. For the Lord knoweth all that may be known, and beholdeth the signs of the world. He declareth the times that are past and for to come, and revealeth the steps of hidden things. No thought escapeth him, neither any word is hidden from him. He has garnished the excellent works of his wisdom, and he is from everlasting to everlasting. Unto him may nothing be added, neither can nothing be diminished. And he has no need of any counselor. Oh, how desirable are all his works, and that a man may see even to a spark. Say, there's plenty of things to think about when it comes to the Lord. You don't always have to be idle and just think about one thing. Thinking about one law. Think about the Numbers 15 and 38. That's not the only things you should know. Right? There's literally this whole book is desirable. This whole book can help us fight. Think about the simple thing. You can even start thinking about the firmament, and now help you defeat a demon. Stuff like that could literally help you go a long way in this thing. Think about the oracles of the Lord, right? Macan, I had this other precept, right, on the point, right? It's the book of 2 Timothy, chapter 3, in verse 12, the classic, right? We'll start at verse 10, right? But thou hast fully known my doctrine, manner of life, purpose, faith, long suffering, charity, patience, persecutions, afflictions, which came unto me at Antioch, at Salakia. You know how to say that right there? Iconium.
Yeah, con. Iconium,
Con.
I believe.
At Lystra, what persecutions I endured, but out of them all the Lord delivered me, man. So that's literally a real account of Paul escaping all those things that, the Lord delivered him out of, man. He literally got delivered from the Lord, man. That's not it's not no coincidence. He literally was in jail, and he literally was escaped from the Lord. Right? Verse 12, here's the point. Yeah, and all that will live godly in him outside shall suffer persecution. And that's the classic, plain upon table, man. If you live in godly, man, you're gonna suffer some type of pain, whether it's physical pain, but hey, we're all gonna suffer that spiritual pain. We're suffering loves and temptations that we have to fight, man. That's that we have to pray that the Lord delivers us from, man. There's no man on this road that's never gonna go through some type of temptation, man. Whether it's lust, whether it's some type of brother trying to commit adultery, whether it's breaking the Sabbath, whether it's all fringes, brothers have demons like this, man. But hey, we literally have to fight that thing, man. Right? Verse 13. Evil men and seducers shall wax worse and worse, deceiving and being deceived. But continue thou in the things which thou hast learned and hast been assured of, knowing of whom thou hast learned them, man. So we learn everything is literally from the Lord Himself, man, from Yahweh man. That's who we learn from. We have to literally consider the person who's teaching us and the person who's trying to save us is literally Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, man, the creator of heaven and earth, man. Literally, man, the creator of everything. He's literally trying to save us, man. Just think about that. Just think about that one thing right there, and that'll take you a long way, man. Literally, man, the creator of everything wants you to be saved, bro. You know, that's something that's something to think about, man. That's something to, deliver you, man. Right? Salaki, verse 15. And that from a child thou hast known the holy scriptures, which are able to make thee wise unto salvation through faith, which is in Hamashiach Yahushua, man. Plain upon saviors, man. So these scriptures are going to make you wise, man. These scriptures are literally going to deliver you from all types of temptations, lust, and all the things that you have to deal with. This is 101 defeat the demon, man. Hey, let's say 101 defeat the demon. These scriptures right here are literally going to help you defeat any type of demon, man. Literally. You go but open up Genesis, it'll help you defeat it, man. Think about those deep things of Genesis, man. Anything you can open up to and now literally defeat a demon, man. Anything, you know.
Mm-hmm. Con, I got this precept, right? Let's go to going into the demons, man. Right? Because man, I heard somebody say, oh, I might study demonology. I'm like, what? they're not in the truth, but like, I was like, what? You know. But hey, if you're in this truth, bro, you don't really understand demons like that, man. Right? Because calm. But yeah, let's go to Tobit chapter 3, verse 8. It says, because that she had been married to 7 husbands. Who is this talking about? It's talking about Sarah, right? Who is the daughter of I believe Raguel, right? Who eventually marries Tobias, who is the son of Tobit, right? Which says, because she had been married to 7 husbands, whom Asmodeus, the evil spirit, had killed before they had lying with her. See that? Asmodeus. That's literally a spirit. That's literally an evil angel, an evil spirit, or a demon that ultimately works for Satan. And we know that Satan works for the Most High, right? So they ultimately work for the Most High, but literally the Most High could be using Asmodeus as we speak right now on certain brothers or even certain sisters. And Asmodeus, he could be a murder demon. He could be a lust demon, but we know that he's one of the top demons. You know, so if we, like for example, let me just keep reading. It says, "Whom Asmodeus, the evil spirit, had killed before they had lying with her. Dost thou not know?" Said they, "that thou hast strangled thine husbands? Thou hast had already 7 husbands. Neither was thou named after any of them." Because she didn't lie with them though, right? She was only betrothed to them. But when they went to lie down together, Asmodeus would kill, right? The husband, right? But let's go to slot. What was I going to? 2 Corinthians, right? Come. 2 Corinthians chapter 12. Come. 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 7. Right? I'm gonna start verse 6. It says, "For though I would desire to glory, I should not be a fool, for I will say the truth. But now I forbear, lest any man should think of me above that which he seeth me to be, or that he heareth of me." Right? So Paul's like, hey, I don't want people to think that I'm on certain type of level. Right? I don't want people to think that I'm part of the elect, or that I'm on this like high level. Right? Because people really were putting Paul on a certain level, man. Right? They kind of saw him as a deity, kind of saw him as a god, right? Because when you go to 1 Corinthians chapter, they were kind of boasting about being under Paul, right? Because you read about that in 1 Corinthians 3 and verse 3. For ye are yet carnal, for whereas there is among you envying and strife and divisions, and are you not carnal and walk as men? And for while one saith, I am of Paul, and another, I am of Apollo, are ye not carnal? So people are saying, hey, look, I'm on Paul, man. What you talking about, man? Right? I'm under Paul. And then Paul goes and say, look, bro, I'm nothing, bro. What you talking about? The Most High is just using me. I'm just a vessel, you know. Come. Let's go to this 2 Corinthians 12:7. It says, "And least I should be exalted above measure through the abundance of the revelations." You see that? Lest I should be exalted above measure. There was given to me a thorn in the flesh. So certain brothers might have this too, a thorn in the flesh. The messenger of Satan, which is basically an angel of Satan, right? Because messenger and angel are the same thing, right? Or basically angel means messenger, rather. The messenger of Satan to buffet me, lest I should be exalted above measure. For this thing I besought the Lord thrice, and we know 3 is the number of completion, that it might depart from me. You see that? But it didn't. So that demon was just on Paul all the time, man. And he couldn't get away. So that could be a case for us too. And it's true. Khan, you got it.
Khan. All right, all praises, right? This is the book, right, of Colossians chapter 1, verse 5, right? "For the hope which is laid up for you in heaven, whereof ye heard before in the word of the truth of the gospel, which is come unto you as it is in all the world, and bringeth forth fruit as it doeth also in you, since the day ye heard of it, and knew the grace of the Most High in truth, as ye also learned of Epaphras, our dear fellow servant, who is for you a faithful minister of Christ, who also declared unto us your love in the Spirit. For in this, because we do since the day we heard it, do not cease to pray for you, and to desire that ye might be filled with the knowledge of his will and all wisdom and spiritual understanding." Right? So, hey, that's also another thing, man. We got to pray for our brethren, man. You know, we got to hear, hey, if you hear a brother's in the truth, he's going through things, hey, pray for him, man. And all, hey, what it said in all spiritual understanding, man. You know, hey, throw him some scriptures. You know, pray for him, fast with him if he needs to be fasted for. I'm jumping to verse 11, right? "Strengthened with all might according to his glorious power, unto all patience and long suffering with full joyfulness, giving thanks unto the Father, which has made us meet to partakers of the inheritance of the saints in light, who has delivered us from the power of darkness and has translated us into the kingdom of his dear son," man. So we got to look at all the things that the Lord has did for us, man. You know, we used to be niggas and spicks in the world. You know, now we literally are preparing ourselves to be in the kingdom, man, on thrones, man, to be with crowns, man, to be with wives, you know, to be with children and to be happy in the kingdom of heaven, man. You know, the only way we're going to get that, you know, is if we use Hamashiach and, you know, really let him, you know, sup with us and fight these demons and fight these temptations, man. And, you know, we got to become one as with each other, man. Right? So, like, let me just get this precept. So, right here, as a matter of fact, right, the book of Philippians, chapter 1, in verse, right, 27. "One, let your conversation be as it becometh the gospel of Christ, that whether I come and see you, or else be absent, I may hear of your affairs, that ye stand fast in one spirit, with one mind, striving together for the faith of the gospel of the Mashiach." Right, so that's what we have to do, man. Strive together. You know, that's also another thing, you know, because when we become saints, we become, you know, one body, man. Because, hey, we all believe in the same thing. It's a Mashiach, and that he died for the children of Israel, man. You know, so, hey, one strong mind, that was Hamashiach, but hey, he made a whole body out of himself, you know, to feed the church of God, man. Literally, to make the kingdom of heaven. You know, he died on that cross, man, for us to literally be one and defeat all the demons that he defeated, man. He did it himself. Hey, we have to do it together, man. You know, we can't do this thing alone. No, we got to ask brothers to pray for us, man. We got to ask brothers to fast for us, man. That's what we do as saints in this thing, right? Verse 13, verse 14, the point, "In whom we have redemption through his blood, even the forgiveness of sins, who is the image of the invisible God, the firstborn of every creature," man. That's plain upon table. So that's redemption right there. You know, that's a fight. That's a glove and armor for you, man. It's his blood, man. His literal blood gives us help, man. Literally, you know. Come on.
Khan, all praises, man. All right. All right, let's go to 2 Peter. All right. Battling this flesh, man. All right. And this in the flesh, it doesn't always have to necessarily go into, right? Like, for example, lust, right? It can go into also your thoughts too, right? Satan plaguing your thoughts, right? And it doesn't even have to be thoughts of lust either. It's just basically being charged with surfeiting, you know, thoughts of surfeiting. That's basically occupying your mind. So now you're not reading, you know what I'm saying? Now you're not praying as much, or you're not watching the videos. You know, Satan is just plaguing your mind, right? Calm, right? And this is 2 Peter chapter 1, right? In verse 4, right? It says, wherefore, it's like whereby are given unto us exceeding great precious promises, that by these you might be partakers of the divine nature, right? Having escaped the corruption that is in the world through lust. You see that? So we want to be partakers of that divine nature, right? And we want to escape the corruption of the world. Right? We want to escape the lust of the world, the lust of the flesh, the pride of life, the lust of the eyes, right? We want to escape that. And besides this, giving all diligence, add to your faith virtue, and to virtue knowledge, and to knowledge temperance, and to temperance patience, and to patience godliness. What is that temperance? Being temperate, right? Being able to control ourselves, right? That's having the rule over your spirit, right? We should want to have rule over spirit. We should want to have rule over our bodies and tell our bodies what to do, right? As it should be, you know? And godliness. What is godliness? Godliness is acting like the Most High. Godliness is following the Most High God, right? Let's go to Ephesians chapter, right? Ephesians chapter 5, verse 1. Be therefore followers of God as dear children. So you want to be a follower of God, right? I'm going to the it's lucky that Greek for this. You want to be a follower of God. Right? So let's go into, okay, come on, see that? So this is the Hebrew, or the Greek rather, for it, right? Right? Strong's G 3402, right? There's it. Yeah.
Mimetes. Mimetes.
Mimetes, right? And that's the word for followers, right? In Ephesians 5 and 1, right? And it says this. Here's the definition. It says an imitator. See that? An imitator. So if you're going to be imitating God, right? And yes, talking about the Most High God, and also Yahweh Shai, because Yahweh Shai is a God. If you're going to imitate Yahweh Shai, what does that mean? You have to be keeping the commandments to the best of your ability, because that's what Yahweh Shai did, right? Let's get that in John chapter 15. John chapter 15 and verse 10, right? It says what? If ye keep my commandments, ye shall abide in my love, even as I have kept my Father's commandments and abide in his love. So that's being a follower of Yahweh Shai, keeping his commandments, keeping the Most High's commandments, keeping Yahweh Shai's commandments, man. Right? That's how we follow Yahweh Shai and walk as he did walk, right? And that's also going into following, denying the flesh. Hey, Yahweh Shai, he denied the flesh, man. He was going through it, man, day by day, bro. That's what it says in Luke chapter 12, verse 50. But I have a baptism to be baptized with, and how am I straight until it be accomplished? You know? And how am I going to be pain? I'm going to be pain. I'm going to be in sorrow. I'm going to be damn tortured, man, until it's accomplished, right? In this flesh. Because it wasn't like Yahweh Shai wasn't tempted at all, bro. Yahweh Shai was tempted, okay? He was tempted. All the time he was tempted, man. He was in a fleshly body. He wasn't just walking around and no temptation, right, whatsoever. Nah, bro, he was getting tempted. And he was getting tempted with certain things that we don't even get tempted with. Certain things that we can't even imagine. Like, for example, Yahweh Shah, when he was being delivered up, right, and he was talking to Pilate, hey, he was tempted to call upon a legion of angels, man, right? When he was being delivered up, right? Let's just get that real quick. And not with Pilate, but with when he was just getting delivered up. All right, let's go to Matthew chapter 26 and verse number 51. And behold, one of them that were with Yahushua stretched out his hand and drew his sword and struck a servant of the high priest and smote off his ear. So in the narrative, Matthew says one that was with Yahushua, and another narrative says Peter. But nevertheless, one of the disciples of Yahushua cut off the high servant's ear, right? Verse 52. Then said Yahushua unto him, put up again thy sword into his place, for all that for all they that take the sword shall perish with the sword. That kind of links up with Revelation 13 and 10 as well, right? He got killed with the sword, must be killed with the sword. But what it says, verse 53, here's the point. Thinkest thou that I cannot now pray to my Father, and he shall presently give me more than 12 legions of angels? So Yahweh said, hey, hold on, bro. Don't you think I can just pray unto my Father and he's going to give me 12 legions of angels, bro? You know how much a legion is? Legion is like 500, bro. 12 times 500. Let's just see how much that is, bro. Right? 12 times 500, roughly, right? That's 6,000. 6,000 angels. And these angels are mighty men of valor, right? So Yahweh he was tempted like that too. You know, man, I could just take this whole damn king, bro. Pilate, you don't even know who you talking to, bro. Right? Imagine that, bro. Pilate's talking about, hey, bro, let me just get it, man. Bro. This is John chapter 19 and verse 9, right? It says, and went again into the judgment hall and said unto Yahushua, whence art thou? But Yahushua gave him no answer. So Yahweh wasn't even into this damn Edomite, bro. Verse 10. Then said Pilate unto him, speakest thou not unto me? Knowest thou not that I have power to crucify thee and have power to release thee? So Pilate was like, don't you know that basically your life is in my hands? I can do whatever I want to you. You know, I got power to release you. I got power to crucify you. You know, and I'm thinking about crucifying you right now. That's what he would say. You know what I'm saying? But Esau, hey, knowing Esau might be like saying deceitfully. I'm thinking about letting you go, but you know, you're not helping me here, buddy. You're not helping. You know, you're not giving me anything. You know, that's Esau, bro. Verse 11, Khan says Yahweh Shah answered, "Thou couldst have no power at all against me, except it were given thee from above. Therefore, he that delivered me unto thee hath the greater sin." You know, so hey, Yahweh Shah was like, "Hey, look, you have no power at all unless the Father gave it to you, man. And the Father gave me all power. So I don't know what the hell, you know, you don't even know who you're talking to. I'm the King of Kings, man, right? But you know." I just want to get this last precept. Hebrews chapter 2 and verse 18. For in that he himself hath suffered, being tempted, he is able to secure them that are tempted. So Yahweh Shah being tempted, now he's able to give us comfort because he went through that same thing. That's why the Lord said that, bro, in Revelation 2:9. I know thy works and tribulation and poverty that are rich. He knows literally our temptation because he literally went through it. You know,
Come on. Book of John, chapter 7, in verse 4. Right, for there is no man that doeth anything in secret, and he himself seeketh to be known openly. If thou do these things, show thyself to the world. For neither did his brethren believe in him. Then Yahweh said unto him, my time is not yet come, but your time is already ready. The world cannot hate you, but me it hateth, because I testify of it, right? That the works thereof are evil, right? So that's plain, man. That's the only way, we're even going through these temptations, because Mashiach pointed it out, man. If Mashiach didn't say, okay, that's a temptation right there to himself, then ourselves wouldn't even know that temptation, because we are literally in one body of Mashiach. All right, come on,
That's right.
right. So, let me just read that again. Right, the world cannot hate you, but me it hateth, because I testify of it. So Mashiach, he testifies of this thing, man. No, he's seen it, man. He pointed it out, man. He's seen this world, and that is his evil. And therefore, we see it as well. Now it's going to hate us. And it doesn't hate us, but it hates Mashiach, man, because we are of Mashiach, man. But come. Right, here's this other precept in the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 10 and verse 3, where I'm going to get it, right? And did all eat the same spiritual meat, and did all drink the same spiritual drink? For they drank of that spiritual rock that followed them, and that rock was Hamashiach, man. Right? So we have to be literally followers of Hamashiach, man. He literally, Salaki, he literally fed us in the wilderness, man. He gave us that. He gave us that spiritualness, man. That life in the wilderness, man. That's on a spiritual level, though. He's giving us that life now in this wilderness of Babylon, man. He's literally giving us life from the. No, he's not here on a physical level, but on a spiritual level, he's literally sending down his spirit through the Holy Ghost and giving us all this wisdom, man. So therefore we have to see it, and we have to follow after it, because it's in heavens, man. And though it's not visible, but it's visible on a spiritual level, man. If we're meant for it, then it's going to come. Right, verse 5. But with many of them, the Most High was not well pleased, for they were overthrown in the wilderness. Now these things were our examples, to intent we should not lust after evil things, as they also lusted. Neither be ye idolaters, as we were some of them, as it is written, the people sat down to eat and drink, and rose up to play. Neither let us commit fornication, some of them committed, and fell in one day 320,000. Neither let us tempt Christ, as some of them also tempted and were destroyed. Right? So, I'm jumping to verse. Lucky. You
good.
Well, I can get the point, man. That's on tables. We literally have to see Christ and what he's for, and follow after him, man. Be ye followers of Christ, man. Playing upon tables. We can't, because when we're not following after Christ, we're literally following the world. When we don't think about Mashiach, we're thinking about the world. Let's get that out the way. If it's not spiritual, then it's flesh and then carnal. So therefore, that's where you always have to be on that spiritual side, and with Mashiach and follow after him.
That's right. Yeah, any other points, King? Hey, let's just to close out. Let's read just a quick read. Like, we don't have to go in depth, but like, let's just read shoot, let's see. Damn. Okay, Khan. Yeah, let's go. Okay, Khan. Yeah, let's just read Ephesians chapter 5. Like, we don't have to like break it down like in depth. It's 33 verses, but to close out, right? Let's just like go through the chapter. Just like briefly, just break it down. Khan, you down?
Khan,
all praise. See that? You're on fire. You're on fire for Yahweh. Shema Mashiach Yahushua. All right. Khan.
you want me to read?
Khan.
It's the book of Ephesians, chapter 5 and verse. Be therefore followers of God as dear children, and walk in love as Christ also has loved us and has given us and has given himself for us, an offering and a sacrifice of God for a sweet smelling Savior.
Mm.
But fornication and all uncleanness or covetousness, let it not be once named amongst you as become the saints.
Right, we gotta put that away. You know, come. Good.
Come. Neither filthiness, nor foolish talking, nor jesting, which are not convenient, but rather giving of thanks.
Come.
For this ye know that no whoremonger, nor unclean person, nor covetous man, who is an idolater, has any inheritance in the kingdom of Christ and of God. Let no man deceive you with vain words, for because of these things cometh the wrath of God upon the children of disobedience. Be not ye therefore partakers with them, for ye were sometimes darkness, but now are ye light in the Lord. Walk as the children of light.
Mm.
For the fruit of the Spirit is in all goodness and righteousness and truth, proving what is acceptable unto the Lord. And have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness, but rather reprove them.
Right, and it's a lot. And we have to if we commit these certain works of darkness, which we may do, right, even in this truth when we fall, right, we have to reprove ourselves. We have to reprove those works, man, that we do. You know, and we see other people committing these unfruitful works of darkness. We shouldn't have fellowship with that, man. We should say to hell with that, bro, and reprove it. You know, but yeah, you got me.
Con, right? For it is a shame even to speak of those things which are done of them in secret.
Mm.
Damn. But all things that are reproved are manifest by the light. For whatsoever doeth make manifest is light.
Um,
Wherefore he saith, Awake thou that sleepest, and arise from the dead, and Christ shall give thee light.
mm.
See then that ye walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise,
Um,
redeeming the time, because the days are evil. Wherefore be ye not unwise, but understanding what the will of the Lord is.
mm.
And be not drunk with wine, wherein is excess, but be filled with the Spirit.
Right, and you're not going to overcome the flesh. It's a lot, and you're not going to overcome the flesh if you drunk. You know what I'm saying? Physically and spiritually.
Mhm.
Right? How do you spiritually drunk? By gulping down the philosophies and doctrines of other men. Right? That's outside of this truth. You know, that's going to cause you to go astray. Right? But calm. That's yeah. You gotta be filled with the Spirit, man. That's what it says in Galatians 5:16. This I say then, brethren, walk in the Spirit, and you should not fulfill the lust of the flesh. You know, if we are walking in the Spirit, we're not going to be fulfilling the lust of our flesh. You know, calm.
Come, right? Verse 20, Salaki, verse 19.
Calm.
Speaking to yourselves in psalms and hymns and spiritual songs, singing and making melody in your heart to the Lord,
Mm.
giving thanks always for all things unto God and the Father in the name of our Lord Yahushua HaMashiach, submitting yourselves one to another in the fear of the Lord.
Mhm.
Wives, submit you yourselves unto your husbands, and as unto the Lord. For the husband is the head of the wife, even as Christ is the head of the church, and he is the Savior of the body. Therefore, as the church is subject unto Mashiach, so let the wives be to their own husbands in everything.
Calm.
Love your wives, even as a Mashiach also loved the church and gave himself for it, that he might sanctify and cleanse it with the washing of water by the word.
Mm. That's that real baptism. That's his real baptism. You know, calm.
Come, that he might present it to himself a glorious church, not having spot or wrinkle or any such thing, but that it should be holy and without blemish.
Mm.
So ought men to love their wives as their own bodies. He that loveth his wife loveth himself.
Mm.
For no man ever yet hated his own flesh, but nourished it and cherished it, even as the Lord the church.
Con.
For we are members of his body, of his flesh, and of his bones.
Con. And I got a quick precept on that too, Salaki, right? We are the members of his body and of the flesh and of his bones, man. We're the body of the Lord, man. That's why we can't be, doing these certain things to ourselves, defiling ourselves, man. Because literally our body's not of ourselves, it's of the Lord. Like it's like quick precept in 1 Corinthians 6 and verse 19, right? It says, "What know ye not that your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit, which is in you, which ye have of God, and ye not of your own? For ye are bought with a price. Therefore glorify God in your body and in your spirit, which are God's." So this is the Most High's body, man. This body right here, it's not mine. It's the Most High's, right? Because we're literally the temple of the Most High altogether. We're the building of the Most High. So how should we defile, like, why are we going to defile our body, our temple, right? Which is basically the Lord's, right? By doing these certain lusting and covet and fulfilling the lust of our flesh, you know. Come.
All right, I got a quick precept as well, right? 1 Corinthians 3 and 23. And
Come.
Christ, and Christ is God's. Okay, we are joined with Christ, man. We became Christ because of Christ, man. We became saviors because of the Savior Himself, man. So that's why we are one body. That's why we have to, act like a damn man. Just to follow our body all the time, you know.
Come.
Come on.
That's right, man.
Verse 31, Ephesians 5 and 31. Right. For this cause shall a man leave his father and mother, and shall be joined unto his wife, and they two shall be one flesh.
Mm.
This is a great mystery, but I speak concerning Christ and the church. Mm.
Mm.
Nevertheless, let every one of you in particular so love his wife, even as himself, and the wife see that she reference her husband.
That's right, man. The wife, like, the wives got to be submissive to their husbands, right? To the husband, and the husband, right? Likewise, unto the wife, as be loving him, even as he loves himself, even as the Lord loved the church, man, and gave himself for it. So the husband's got to be ready to give his life for his girl, man, right? That a greater love have no man than this, that a man lay his life down for his friends. But and that's also going into Paul's teaching about how a man and a wife, or a husband and a wife, should be in this truth, you know. We just want to touch on basically battling the flesh, right? And the flesh also goes into that too. You acting uncomely towards your woman, and the woman acting uncomely towards her man. You know, that's also flesh too, because you might want to say some stuff, right? You mad at him, right? So you might want to just say some stuff. You also battling the flesh too. You got evil thoughts, right? You want to say something. You know what I'm saying? You want to blur it out and cuss them out. That's also battling the flesh. You know, but and there's also scriptures on that too. But really, we in this video really tacked on attack what the lust. You know what I'm saying? That's really plaguing a lot of our people, right? Con. Yeah. Anything else, King?
Uh,
So that would like to give would like to close out, giving the course all on the glory and praise unto Yahweh Ba'Shem Mashak Yahushua, right? The water for everybody that was tuning in. The water, also Shalom, serving in the Most High, Brother Dez, right? All praise to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. I appreciate you tuning in, especially this late at night, right? All praise to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, right? Brother Yasha
by Tazaiyar Gabar.
come back y'all with yet another video. Lord willing, this is edifying. Right, Kwame Yasha Allah. Shalom.